Alright, so let's go over the build here. This is the guide that I know a lot of people have been asking for. So for the gear, we're using Cal the Nameless. The reason we use Cal and not Perdition is because of the trick attacks ranks. It is the most important stat on this helmet. It's the only thing that really is important, to be completely honest. So what a trick attacks does is you see this critical strike damage. Critical strike damage feeds directly into precision. You can read what this says. So when we stack up trick attacks, that goes from 4,053 to around 13.5k all up. If you look at it here, almost 13.6. And what that does to precision is it takes this from a 658 mult to just over a 2,000, almost a 2,100 damage mult, being like 300% of its normal value. Okay. Now, if we're using Shroud of False Death because again, more range to trick attacks, +1 to all passives, it's really strong. It gives us the ability to not need Dark Shroud for the most part. The most important thing is to get GA on here for this build. Number 1 is all stats. Number 2 is max life. Nothing else matters. Dex, crit damage, rapid fire gloves, it's pretty basic stuff. Obviously, we want to like triple hit the rapid fire. I haven't had the masterworking mask yet to do it. Siphoning victuals. This is number 1 key to the build. It doesn't work without this. The reason we run siphoning victuals is anytime we drink a potion, it gives us 100% damage mult. So every other rapid fire cast is going to have this effect active, which then drains all of our energy and procs second wind, giving us 100% uptime on barrier. Okay? And then on top of that, we also have unstable elixirs. That is an 84% damage mult. If I had the masterwork on my amulet, it would be a 90%. Perfect, okay? So, boots, pretty basic here. Frostbitten, just for the extra damage. Obviously, we can triple hit Dex. That would be ideal. For the Sky Hunters here, we have... Before GA, this is basically perfect. If someone is looking to buy one of these... and like wondering what stats they need to prioritize, Marksman cast twice is the most important stat on here, followed by attack speed, followed by crit damage. Don't ever worry about stutter step. We're going to go over to the condemnation now. Same thing. The basic skill attack speed is the most important, followed by dex, followed by damage per combo point. The lucky hit chance to make vuln doesn't even matter. It doesn't really not much for us anyways. It just is a vuln source, which is like we don't need a GA. Just a mineral would work, right? Okay, so the dagger, this should be a sword. Obviously the goal here would be to get max life GA, crit damage GA, and dex GA, and then we would be basically full masterworking the crit damage or the dex. Either one would work here. We're running Caltrops duration, so it's easier to play around Caltrops. Otherwise, it's a 7-second duration, which it's just really hard to play around and keep up. If we're doing that, we're running Poison Surge as well. The reason we run Poison Surge is Alchemical Advantage. It procs this. It gives us 20% attack speed, which lets us stay at 11 frame breakpoint with just the GAs on our gear. Okay, let's go over the rest of the gear here. We got Scoundrel's Kiss. The only thing that is super important and a must-have on GA here is the attack speed. Okay, the rapid fire ranks, the other stuff, it doesn't matter, right? You just need GA attack speed. That'll get you going and like at least decently well with the build. Okay. Same thing with Starless. GA attack speed, and then is the most important thing. GA core skills is the next most important thing. But you want a 2 GA, ideally. GA attack speed, GA core skills would be your best bet here. Okay, the amulet, obviously mine's kind of bricked, but I think I would go like movement speed or something like here. Maybe. Right? And then unstable should be fully masterworked, right? That's another huge mult that put unstable to 90% on our helm whenever we pop a potion. And then past that, we'll go over the skills. We're running Heartseeker for the 15% extra damage when we crit. We're running Rapid Fire. We're running Advanced Rapid Fire for the 30% extra damage when we evade. Then Siphoning Strikes for the healing. Then this for the DR. I mean, just the basic passive setup for the DR. We're running Shadow Step and Dash because we're playing it physical. We don't have an imbuement on this build or Dark Shroud, so it lets us take both of these. So we get a good bit of a mobility here, and then rugged, and then caltrops with the freezing temper because it just helps with the stagger on the boss when we get there. Smoke grenade for the 25% X multiplier. We put the points in here because I really didn't have a better place to put them, to be honest. And then like agile, evasive, malice, exploit, and then we already went over that. We got a second wind here. Very important, never go above 7 ranks on second wind. Anything over 7 gives you no benefit. Your barrier can never exceed 100% of your max life. This is just for the movement speed. This is to keep our energy up after the rune proc. So the way we play this here, I'm going to do this. We're going to go with a multiple target training dummy here. So we're going to say this is the boss, right? We're going to put our caltrops down right here on the boss. We're going to stand right here with the adds at our back, and then we're going to burn the boss, right? So the add at our back never takes damage, right? So we just sit here and burn it, spamming it full of potions, leveling and maxing our trick attack stags for DPS. That's how we handle it on the boss. For adds, it's dealer's choice. You can just nuke shit. It doesn't really matter. Let's see. For mercs, we're running right here. Mainly for the fortify. It gives us extra DR, so we don't need to be running Dark Shroud. Then this is used to cap our armor. And then we do this, and then we get the extra 25% knocks on your next 4 core skills, which is super powerful for rapid fire. For the backup merc, we're using Variana for her knockdown. Mainly because the knockdown, when we proc it, we have it tied to rapid fire. It procs Malice, giving us an additional 12% multiplier from that. And finally, we're going to go over the Paragon here. We got control in the first board, right here. Okay. This will all be in a planner, by the way, in the description. So controls in the first board. We got chip here for the physical damage. We're running combat here in exploit weakness. Sorry, I forgot this board is cheap shot, by the way. So exploit weakness plus combat. The reason we do this is exploit weakness has the most amount of int out of any board on the rogue class around the glyph, so we get the most benefit out of combat on this particular board. Okay, over here, this is deadly ambush. We're using this for because we have caltrops and for the crit damage. We're putting pride here to boost this node right here. This is huge. That is almost half the power of our node here. That's over half the power of our node here almost. Well, just under half, actually. But it is half the power if you include the crit damage here, right? So this is just another massive chunk of crit damage for us, right? And we're going to go up here. This is cunning stratagem. You reuse it for the extra rapid fire arrows. It's kind of self-explanatory here. And then this should be Headhunter when your Paragon is leveled up and you can take all these dex nodes. For now, I have it set to Devious just because it's better than anything else at the moment that I can put there, but Headhunter is the better choice in game. Other than that, I think that covers basically everything, right? I think, side note, you should always be spamming your potions, like, non-stop. Oh, another thing I want to note for the rotation. You should, like, generally this is going to be your normal rotation, you're right? But it's very important to note that you should always wait to see your energy drain before you reapply caltrops or smoke. If you don't do this, you're going to blow that entire energy and the 100% X on caltrops or smoke or even dash or shadow step. It happens. So it's very important to always like reapply those buffs right after you proc your rune. And then, yeah, that's basically it. I think that covers everything here. So enjoy.